Good morning, beautiful people out there. How you guys doing this morning? It is another episode of Marvelous Monday. Episode number 37 is in the books right now, or in the works right now. I'm your host, Brett Higgins, and you know what we do on this show. We share a Bible verse, a little quote, and just a short message for the day to get us started on this beautiful, marvelous Monday. This day not promised that we'll never see again, that we have an opportunity right now to be better, to do better, to be different, and to make a difference. So just think about that today and make sure you take that to the day. What's going on, Miss Shaw? Good morning to you. Good morning, Mr. Mitchell from New York, Miss Shaw in Prestonburg. We got some people from all over right now going on. Okay, so we're going to start off with a Bible verse this morning, which comes from 1 Peter, chapter 4, verse 10 and 11, And it simply reads, "As each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's very grace. Whoever speaks is one who speaks oracles of God. Whoever serves by the strength that God supplies, in order that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. To him belong glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen." So, man, this past weekend, what's going on, Mr. Greg Sr.? So this past weekend, I had a couple of conversations, and it's been, the past couple of weeks, we talked to the different folks about being themselves and true to self. Now, quick story real quick. When I was in 4th grade, I didn't use a lot of big words, but I was a pretty smart kid, and my father and my mother, they had us read before we went to bed and learn different words out of the dictionary. But when I used to answer questions and things like that, I wouldn't use big words, but I had an opinion, I had educated answers, and I had good answers without using big words. I remember one day there was a principal's list student in the class, real studious, real smart, real intelligent. And, I may have had a thing for her. It was 4th grade, everybody's got their little crush or whatever. But I heard her use the word obvious one day. And I was like, man, I really like that word. So I remember we were in class and we were having a round discussion about how my thoughts on, the Native Americans being here. And I'm not going to get political on you guys today, but about the Native Americans being here and how I felt about when the Pilgrims came and when all that, all of that stuff. So, I had a great answer in mind, and it was going to be simple, no big words. But I remember I said, man, I remember that word obvious. I thought that was cool, so I'm going to use this word in this when it's my turn. So when I was asked how I felt about this situation, or my intake or my input, I said, well, I feel pretty obvious about it. And if the obvious is not, that's not an answer. If I feel pretty obvious about it. So I didn't know. And so I said, so she looked at me like to elaborate. And again, I said, I feel pretty obvious about it, So the one that I was trying to impress actually used the word obviously. What he's trying to say is, and she got my butt out of Dodge. She helped me out of that situation. But I was not being myself, and I didn't answer the way that I would answer that question. So, this goes to say, in life, there are situations where we are trying to be who we are not, what we are not, to do certain things or to impress a certain people or to hang with a certain people. Now, when we take away from what we know and when we take away our gifts and we try to be like someone else, or the way that we feel someone else will accept us, that's when we neglect the world and folks around us of our gifts that we possess that will better not only them, but better the kingdom. So it's just something to keep in mind this morning. Mr. Newberry, what's going on, Mr. Newberry? But that's something that we got to keep in mind this morning and going throughout life, is not worrying about acceptance of what other people think about us, but to use our gifts and to our strengths to better, the people around us. We don't have to impress folks, and we can't lose sight of who we are, because that is who we are. We are special. You have a great day too, Mr. Woods. Man, love you much, Mr. Wood, Mr. Greg. Might need a house from you soon. Might need a farm from you in a couple of years. But that's just a simple message for today, is not losing self and being yourself, using your gifts, sharing your gifts. You don't have to be a musician. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to, those things that you think, oh, that's an artsy person or that's a gifted person. Each and every one of us has a gift. If you don't know what that gift is, maybe you can pray about it. Or you can see, when you're yourself, see what people gravitate to, or what affects people in a good way. That's what you're good at. Capitalize on that. Attack it and do great things with that. But you all have gifts. You're all special. We are all special. And we are all needed to better the world, to better people around us, to better ourselves, and the better. It's easier when when we are ourselves versus not. Because we lose ourselves, then we can't identify ourselves if no one else actually knows who we are. So that's just a simple message for today. And just a quote is, to not be who you are is to neglect the world from the greatness within you. So guys, I really hope that this lesson touches someone. I mean, it's just something that just comes to me. God just gives me the words to speak, and I just feel like someone needs to share that. I know I needed it this morning. So that is just plain and simple today. Just being yourself, sharing your gift. You all have that gift. You are all special. Don't take away from your special gifts and your special talents that you owe to the folks around you. Okay? So guys, be blessed. Bless, share, and show love always. I'll give you a little bit more Mr. Daniel Mason on the way out the door as I go into the building. So Della, what's going on, Chocolate Drop? Hesitate. You guys have a great day. It's Marvelous Monday, episode number 37. Wow, number 37. Miss Collins, what's going on? Miss Tammy Collins. John Howard, what's going on, brother? Love you guys, man. Share this message with somebody. Somebody needs this message today, okay? Somebody needs this message today. So be blessed, bless, share, and show love always. Be great, because you all are great. And we need each and every one of your gifts.